Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today I'm here with a movie star. As seen in Tom Hanks' movie Greyhound, this is the destroyer USS Kidd. And one of the really cool things that Kidd has pioneered among other American museum ships is this permanent berthing structure where she's sitting. We're here on the Mississippi River, so during part of the year, the ship is floating, but then during the winter, the ship sits down on keel blocks that are built into the riverbed. This is a really great way to extend the time in between dry dockings. Kidd has been here for about 38 years, since the early 1980s, and since that time, she has not needed to be dry docked. It doesn't do away with dry dock entirely. Navy ships have 3 different blocking plans for their dry docking, so that when you put the ship in, you can't get to everything because it's sitting on blocks. So then you have to refloat it, move the blocks, set the ship back down, and now those areas are exposed. And once you've done that 2 or 3 times, you've managed to get to everything. Well, with the structure built into the riverbed here, where the ship sits on the blocks, they're just not able to treat. The tidal flow of the river is about 8 knots, so you can't do that with divers when the ship is afloat. And obviously when the ship is sitting down, you can't access those points. So they're just now starting to plan a dry docking that'll take place about after 40 years. Now, typically for a museum ship, you would want to be dry docking every 20 years at a minimum. Some of the really successful ones are able to do it more frequently. Some of the ones that are in berths, unlike Battleship New Jersey or Kidd, where they're just sitting on the river with a huge tidal flow, can have a lot of that work done by divers. With Kidd, that's not the case, and they're able to save millions of dollars by basically doubling the amount of time between actual true dry dockings. And most of the underwater maintenance they're able to do here pierside, which means when they do dry dock her, it'll be a much cheaper and quicker experience. She won't be away from the pier for that long, which means she won't be close to the public for that long, and she'll be able to continue making money. Let's go see some other cool features along the side of the ship. So here's a cool feature that we don't often get to see because on many ships they're removed, but this is the Sonar Dome. So the fact that the ship is able to sit high and dry for people to see this sort of stuff is really cool. So for several months the ship is floating, for several other months she's sitting down here. Now, the Sonar Dome answers one of your questions that you're going to have after watching this video. Well, in dry dock you can move the ship forward and aft on the blocks and treat what's under it. Well, this prevents you from doing that. Because of this and some other features in the underwater hull that you don't want to remove because they're historic, you cannot move this forward to get under where the blocks are. And looking here, you can see some rust bloom under these crushing blocks that the ship is sitting on. So that's why the ship needs to be floated, so they can treat that and then put her back here for the next 40 years. Notice how the propellers are slightly buried in the mud back here. Obviously, that wasn't the case 40 years ago, but the tidal flow and all the silt on the Mississippi River means that this berth is constantly silting up, and the river looks nothing like it did 40 years ago. So when this ship was put in place here with this mooring system, they believed it would negate the need for dry docking permanently. However, with stuff being washed out and more silt being washed in, access to the other side of the ship is difficult because of the mud. The river sits a lot higher now than it used to. This used to be beach way out into the river. And as you can see, stuff is silting up and filling in this berth. So the blocking plan here extended the ship's life significantly, but it wasn't the permanent fix that the staff initially envisioned. It is great, but now the current staff are planning for a dry docking, and that doesn't mean that this system has failed or that the ship is in any sort of immediate danger, but it's part of a ship's normal life cycle that needs to be done. Preventative maintenance. Was it an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure, and that's what the staff here are working on. We've got some links in the description below to their donate page if you would like to support the ongoing restoration of USS Kidd so that she will be beautiful in many movies to come. Feel free to check out their links and give them a hand. Here you can see Battleship Texas's monopile system. They've got 4 of them here on the starboard side. This allows the ship to ride up and down with the tides, but doesn't allow her to go side to side. Which is good because here in the cutout they've made into the San Jacinto battlefield, right off of the Houston ship channel, there isn't a whole heck of a lot of room in this dredge channel for her to go anywhere. Most importantly, it means that some major storm surge can't pick her up and drag her out in the Houston ship channel where she might run aground and block this channel where dozens of ships come by every single day. In the hour we've been here so far this morning, we've seen at least 3 major tankers sail past the stern of the ship. So this is not only protecting the Battleship Texas, it's protecting other crucial Houston area infrastructure. So what do you think about this blocking plan? Would you like to see New Jersey and other HNSA ships follow this scheme? Because it's clearly working here for USS Kidd. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State and from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. Please consider supporting USS Kidd Veterans Museum at the link below. You can support Battleship New Jersey by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about our videos. Thanks for watching.